Good morning, makers. Welcome to Maker Studio, and I am here today. Thank you to Amy Howard of Maker Studio for inviting me to share a fun project with you today. If you don't know me, my name is Cristie, and I am the artist and maker behind Joyful Art Studio in Northern California. And you can find me here on Facebook at Joyful Art Studio with Cristie, or on almost all social media channels and YouTube. And I would love if you came over and hung out with me and saw what I was making and creating. I do a lot of kids projects and art and maker and art projects for adults. So it'd be really awesome if you came and visited me over there. But today I have been invited to bring you a really fun stencil, and I am happy because we are getting closer and closer to fall. So some of those fall projects are starting to pop up, and I have another one for you today. So this is our fun stencil, and it has all these great sayings for fall that will make you think of warm and cozy and cooler weather outside, and lots of fun fonts on here with all kinds of intricate detail that Maker Studio is known for. And so I wanted to make something to use as a decor piece in my home. And so I was at the local department store, Target, and they have these little crates, and they actually come as two, and they're both this color. I pre-painted this one for the sake of live TV. So we're going to do a project with one of these using these stencils and some of the Maker Studio products. So before I show you everything, I'm going to turn my camera down so you can see exactly what I'm doing. I don't want you to miss any of it. And make sure you send me some questions down below. Tell me where you're from. If as I'm doing this project, if you have any questions or comments, make sure you post those, and I'll make sure and come back and answer those questions for you and help you out a little bit if you need it. So also, Maker Studio is going to be giving one of these away to one lucky winner. So in order to be put into the drawing for that, tag 3 friends, share this video so other people can enjoy our awesome videos and tutorials here with all the makers. And are you guys ready? So here we go. I'm gonna turn you guys down. Okay, so here we go. All right, so we have all our supplies here, and like I was saying, I found these cute little crates. They came as a set of 2 at Target, and they were nested together in that bargain section right when you walk in. They were both this unfinished wood color, and I have pre-painted this one to save us a little time so we can spend more time on our stencil. But I did want to share with you my technique for staining these with some color, and I love to use this one-step paint, and today I'm going to be just using the black, and I keep it in a little cup so that it is easy to access. And also I tend to be a super messy painter, so I don't want that lid to stick. And ask me how I know that, because, well, I have had to have my husband undo them when they dry. So I like to pour a little bit in here, makes it neat. I have a little cup of water and a paper towel and just a plain old chip brush. And so I like to get my chip brush a little bit wet, dampen that off, and then I'm gonna come in here and get some of this paint, tap off the excess, and it's a nice thick paint, and I might even sometimes dip it in the water. And then I just like to come and smush it around just like so on all the parts, and you can see it's a little bit liquidy and bubbly. And then I take my paper towel and I wipe it off, and I'm gonna do that on all my sides just like so. And I even do the inside because I like a finished piece. So I will do the insides, the outsides, all of my edges, and I'll even do the bottom. And when you're done, after you have painted that and rubbed it in, it gives just a nice color of stain, okay? So, and that's what I've done here to this one. I've done it on all sides. I've done it on the inside, as you can see, and it is only dried for maybe 15 minutes. I did it before I got on here. And now it's all set to go for our project. So I have got 4 sides here, and I thought it would be fun. I want to do kind of a subtle words around it because I don't want it to take away from what I'm embellishing it with, but I do want the words to be what is lending the texture to. So today I also have some of these gel inks, and the first thing I'm actually going to do is I want to give it a subtle distress in some orange, and so I'm going to use this color Lord Have Mercy, and I'm going to just put a dab over here. And again, I have another clean chip brush, and I'm just gonna tap it, and I'm going to give this just some subtle distressing. Just tap, tap, and if I get too much, I can tap it off. And you're gonna notice it goes on kind of bright at first, and then it's going to be much more subdued as it soaks in, because even though we have coated it with a layer of our one-step paint, it's still somewhat absorbent. That doesn't totally seal it, so it'll still absorb some of that color. And if you get too much, I would wait for it to dry, and if so, you can just wipe a little bit of that off. So see, it's very subtle on there, just enough to give it some interest and texture. Come in my little nooks a little bit. Okay. Might do some of my top edges too, just in case they peek out a little bit. Put that in my water and set this to my side out of the way, because knowing me, I will spill that. Put that to the side. And now I've got some white and some black, because I want it to be subtle. And so since I use black, I'm going to make somewhat of a gray, kind of a darker gray, because I don't want it to have too much contrast. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to open up my stencil first, and they come nicely packaged. There's a little sticker there, which I like to turn down and stick to itself. Slip my stencil out, and I leave the cardstock in there and set it to the side. That way I have a nice package to store it in. And then I have this stencil, so I don't want to cut this one apart, because this might be even really pretty on as a sign, or maybe you have a little fall bag with your, your extras. You know how weather is in the fall, where it's sometimes cool, but then it warms up. So you might have a little bag of an extra sweater, or a, some gloves, or a little blanket, and that will be super cute on a canvas bag or on a sign. So many cool ideas. So I'm going to start out by peeling this. I'm going to, it's a little bit wider, but that is totally okay with me. And I'm gonna kind of line it up, and even goes off the edge a bit, and that's okay too. I'm not going for perfection. We're just going for some texture. I need some glasses. Kind of lining it up a bit. I'm lining it up with this bottom word, pumpkin spice. I'm gonna give it a good burnish, and I am actually gonna let that wrap around, which I will. Give it a really good rub with my finger so that I know I don't have any air bubbles. It's not too sticky. I'm going to come over here and put a little bit of black and some white. And I always like to start with less, and I can always add more to that. Get some more white because I'm getting to the bottom of that. And then I have a little piece of the plastic squeegee that you can get on the Maker Studio, and I really love those. And so I'm noticing the black is very strong. And so I think I want to add a lot more white. I want it to be just a little bit of contrast. There we go. Because the black is just much stronger, has more pigment, of course, and it's going to take over a bit. And I am not being perfect about mixing it together. I don't mind if there's variations in the color. I actually really like that because I think it makes it more interesting. So let's get this really rubbed on there. Okay, and then I'm going to actually I'm gonna put some on my bigger squeegee. This is one of those silicone squeegees, and you can see one side's flat, one side's curved. I prefer the flat side. I like the stiffness of it. And I'm going to come across here with my gray. And there's even the hole from the handle there going through some of the words, and I'm okay with that too, because remember, this is not about a sign where you're really gonna have to look and see what it's saying, because it's just a subtle texture. I love using words as a subtle accent to things. And then I'm actually gonna turn this way, and I'm going to bring this end around. To do a little bit more. I'm just grabbing this one for now because I'll make sure and get that. All right. Wipe off my fingers. Messy Cristie. All right, so let's see. Ooh. I love that. That's perfect. Nice and subtle, and it will fade a slight amount when it dries. So now I'm going to come in here and figure out which ones I want over here. So I think I'll start with these guys, the next set down. Give it a good rub. You could really use any color. Maybe you want yours to be a little bit more bold. I plan on putting maybe some little mini pumpkins in here. So I didn't want to use too much orange, and it just wasn't the look I was going for. But if you were gonna put something like maybe even a plant in here, that would be super cute. And having it orange for fall, or maybe even a variation of orange and red going through there, because as you can see, I'm not 100% mixing those. I like when they look a little marbly on my stencil, so I know they're not going to be a perfect stencil imprint of one solid color. I like the variation. So I'm going to bring this around again. Go. Get those on the edge. Those ones are trickier to get the stencil to stick to. Just give them really good burnishing and they'll get in there. So, what kind of things do you like to put on your table in a little crate like this as a decor item? You could even put your candy in here, something like this. That would be really cute also. Here we go, look at that. Almost. All right, here we go, the next set. And let's press that on. There we go. Make sure if you have any questions about what I'm doing, the process, or any other ideas or things you want to share with me, drop them down below in the comments and I will make sure and come back and visit with you about those. Also, by tagging 3 people and giving a share of this project, that will put you in a drawing to win this stencil, which is it's got so many cool ideas. It will be a great background for a garden flag too, or a little sign on your door. I'm getting all kinds of ideas as I'm sitting here. Tell me your ideas. What would you use it for? It'd be great for a card background also, I think. Just using it as a subtle, I'm really a big fan of that, like putting a stencil or words in the background as a subtle element that gives it some texture. Here we go. Just a little bit at the end and then we're all the way out. All the way around. Okay. Maybe some fall leaves peeking out of it with your pumpkins and a vase. That would be really sweet. All right. There we go. Now, so you can see a little variation. It's softening up as it dries a little bit. I'm tucking my stencil in here in my water bath because I don't want any of that ink to dry while I'm finishing up my project, and then I'll go give it a nice scrub in the sink with a soft sponge to make sure I get all that ink out. So there we go. I love that. All right, so I'm going to turn my camera back around. Okay, what do you think, everybody? All right, so check it out. And I think what I'm also gonna do, I'm going to attach some ribbon here, and maybe on one side, maybe both. You could even put it across the top. It would look like a little wooden bucket. Wouldn't that be adorable? I'm gonna tuck some goodies in there and put it on my countertop or on my table, and it will be the perfect little piece that it costs $1. That's it, because you got 2 of them, so you could make one for yourself and one to gift to a friend or a neighbor. They'll love it. And you can just see a little bit of that orange peeking through, just to give it a little bit of that distress and the variation in the gray. So I can't wait to go check out your comments and your questions. And thank you so much to Amy for letting me host this project today with this great new stencil. It's called Fall is My Favorite. And tag 3 friends. Let us know if you're watching on replay. Replay is just as good as watching it live. We don't want you to miss anything here on Maker Studio, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Bye.